I was watching a podcast and by Jordan Peterson, the real interesting thing when you see the shadow self reflected into the nomenclature of our society is really transfigured and transposed through the spiritual of agricultural and anthropomorphic evolution, and when he goes into them fucking fascinating, when he goes into them fucking speeches. Well, this guy was going off about Pinocchio. He has a great speech on Pinocchio. I've been watching a real boy, Pinocchio. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. Yeah, take the straight and narrow path, and if you start to slide, get a little whistle. Give a little whistle. And always let your conscience be your guide. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-doop. Not just a little squeeze. Pucker up and blow. If you're ever in trouble, yell, Jiminy Cricket. Yeah. Fucking Pinocchio, I was watching Jordan Peterson's discussion about the shadow self and the going into the depths of the ocean to rescue your father from the mouth of the whale, and the Pinocchio. Fascinating, right? I'm subscribed. Fucking right on, brother. Keep on preaching. Great content and a leader in these times, man. Definitely Jordan Peterson. But I was watching his fucking something like over 1 million views, man. Great video on Pinocchio. And I guess the cultural relevance of that. And something he said, though, which was interesting, was he was talking about some of the characters in Pinocchio and the rapscallions and street people and how they reflect in times and with people. And he mentioned the actor. And he said something about, not as a criticism, but just as a story point, or maybe just some metaphorical thing or other, thingamajiggy. I don't know the fucking psychiatric term. But he said something like, the actor represents a great falsity. Somebody trying to portray themselves as more than they are. Which got me thinking about perspectives, positive and negative, of the actor. Because that's a very interesting perspective of the actor. It's like a false person trying to portray themselves as something greater than they are. All the world's a stage, and all men and women, transgendered in-betweens, are just merely players. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women and people or whatever are merely players. That kind of idea. Everything's a gimmick. Everything's a production. The false actor trying to portray a contrived, egocentric glorification of themselves. The narcissistic rambler. The actor. The ham. Very true. We all reach out in different ways, right? I mean, but then again, I've seen a lot of people in business act the same way. Walking around with the Bluetooth headset. I'm making big deals. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. When they're just breaking even. You ain't doing dick, buddy. Knock it off. Fucking, Warren Buffett. Give me a fucking break. I'm a wheeling dealing fucking. Yeah, hello? Who is this? Yep. Okay, yep. Okay, we're set to go live next Tuesday, and yep. We're gonna go ahead with that and okay the order, and I'll touch base with you mañana, and all is well. I give it the green light, and talk to you later. winning. You know, these fucking dickhead fucking business people, they think they're fucking something. Scientists think they're something. Didn't you see that? Portraying this false sense of themselves that are greater than what they are. Isn't it true that you're some dickhead in a lab? Doesn't know mumbo jumbo? You don't know diddly squat, buddy. All right? Cram it up your ass with this fucking blah, blah, blah about every little damn thing. You know what I mean? As if science makes the world go round. God does that. All right? Shut up. You see it in science. You see it in business. You see it in everywhere, bro. Education, for sure. You know? I'm the teacher of the class. You don't like it? Go to the principal's office. Suffice to say, I spent many an hour in the principal's office. You know, them dickheads are fucking just as egocentric, narcissistic, false, phony, and self-aggrandizing as any actor I've ever met. All the world's a stage, and all men and women, transgendered in-betweens, are merely players, as Shakespeare would say. So, yeah, you know, that's perspective of the actor as a false person, self-aggrandizing, making themselves more important than they are. That's one perspective. But another perspective is the craft, the storytelling, the tenacity and grit that it takes to carry a performance. I mean, you got to memorize lines, boy. You ever try to memorize lines, boy? You ever be watching a Shakespeare play? All the world's a stage and all men and women are merely players and spitting out a fucking monologue. Characterization, physicality. You know? Some actors work from the inside out versus the outside in. Right? When you work from the inside out, it's, you know, you go over the lines and you try to come to some sort of conclusion of what the character is going through on the inside. Try to get that emotional inner life. And then you also have to be very in tuned, very like on point with your memorization. You have to have that thing memorized. That way it can come second nature to you. So it works in tandem with the emotional inner life. So, you know, you marry the text with the emotional inner life. It comes through you. And then that informs your physicality, the physical realities of the character. Some actors work from the inside out. Some actors work from Some actors work from the outside in, meaning, okay, you read the script. Oh no, my character lost his dick in a tragic glory hole accident. Oh no, got his dick chopped off at a glory hole. That's my character, right? So he's got no dick. So how does that, well, for me, that wouldn't be much of a stretch. You know, I wouldn't have to do too much research for that. But anyway, like for other actors, they might have to think like, oh well, what's it like to lose your dick, or what is the physical reality of being a dickless wonder mean, and how does that inform the inner life of my character? You know, that's working from the outside in. The physical attributes of a character inform the inner aspects of a character. And then those are just some of the basic ideas involving craft of the actor. Then you go into things such as choices, risks. Like another very interesting thing I heard recently in terms of that, choices and risk. Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Who else could have played that part? Beautiful. And think of the choices he made and the risks he took. He went out there, above and beyond, bigger than life. He breathed life into that character. And from just some of the basic things I heard, I really don't know, but from the hearsay that I've heard, that script had been kicking around for a while. Nobody really knew what to do with it. And then once Jim got his paws on it, he said something to the effect of, I'm going to talk this way. Oh, righty then. And, the whole thing and the whole physicality of it. He was talking with the director. I'm going to make these choices. I'm going to take these risks, but that means I got to go all the way. Ain't no half stepping, as my man Big Daddy Kane would say. You just a butter knife. I'm a machete. Yeah, as Big Daddy Kane would say. So, there ain't no half stepping, boy. And when you make them commitments to make decisions and risks in a character, you got to carry that. You got to carry that throughout the entire performance. And that's the true grit and craft of an actor. And it's enjoyable and it's engaging and it brings humor. It brings personal revelation. Think of all the performances that touch people. Coming to mind, Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote plays that touched the gamut, covered the whole spread of human experience. Love, laughter, war, revenge, treason, jealousy, romance, the whole wackadoo, So these are the things that an actor does in craft that hopefully goes beyond the falsity of a narcissistic person trying to self-aggrandize themselves to be more than they are. Sure, there are a lot of dickhead dildos that do that. I've been there myself. I remember times when I was kind of swept up in the idea of being an actor and loving myself in that role. But the more I go along with it, I'm really, and have always really been, mainly about the craft. And it's a real lovely thing to do, when you get a good role and you do a play and you express these things. It's really engaging stuff. It really is cool. And, that's some perspective from me, positive and negative, about acting. So there you have it, folks. Johnathan Ramcharan, actor extraordinaire. Yeah, I am also a stand-up comedian extraordinaire. And I'm going to keep it brief. Everything I said about the acting, schmacting stuff applies to stand-up as well. The negative, positive aspect. Okay, is a comic just a false person parading on a stage, self-aggrandizing, narcissistic, with a bravado that is greater than themselves? Yeah, a lot of them are. I ain't one of them comics that are like, whenever I walk into a room and I see a comedian, I glom onto them. Thank God, a comedian. My people, they get me. I love comedians. I love comedians. Save it, buddy. All right? It's a fucking business. Them dickheads are just as fucking crazy as any fucking politician, fucking, industrialist I've ever fucking met. All right? Some of the shit you hear about comedians is true. Fucking basket cases. All right? I've dealt with them to dog dick death, and if you would like to question that, you can. That's your due diligence. You're right. But one thing I could say for myself, going forward in my career, I'm very happy that I have the experience that I have. I've done a special, I've done promotion of my own shows, stand-up comedy shows, a little bit of club work, a lot of independent work, bar gigs, independent shows, and got a wealth of knowledge. I've yet to peek over the edge, or I guess reach the summit. I've yet to kind of hit some I guess financial and worldly status areas, you know what I mean? But I can speak about the independent comic quite a bit. I could speak about the training of a comic, I guess, the cultivation, the what do you call it? The come up. I could talk about that in depth. Can't sit here and claim to be a pro and give you all pro tips or whatever, but when it comes to the actual craft of comedy, doing comedy, getting up there and just doing the damn thing, I could talk about it. Just as if you see somebody strumming the guitar and they obviously know how to play guitar, they might not be fucking Stevie Ray Vaughan. They might not be fucking John Lennon, but they can obviously play guitar. Same thing with me. I mean, I might not be fucking, George Burns, but, I ain't no Bob Hope, but I know how to do the damn thing of comedy, all right? So it's the same thing. A lot of comics are like, braggadocious, babble-mouth, narcissists, self-aggrandizing, trying to portray themselves as more than they are, for sure. But again, as I mentioned in the acting stuff, there's a craft. So it's like, writing jokes, stage presence, stage performance, bits, act outs, chunks, puns, hangovers, drug addiction problems, personal crises, relationship problems, mental health issues, the whole fucking wackadoo, the whole gamut, the whole enchilada, folks. There's a lot in the craft. And when you get that comic that's just spinning, fuck is it mesmerizing. When they just capture an audience and turn them the fuck out. Beat 'em, and the laughter's rolling. What a fun experience. What a great enjoyment of craft. And on the same token, when you got comics that are just, dripped in narcissism, it may not be the greatest. But then again, it could be. It's like, it's all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and art is subjective. Yeah. Hallelujah. So there you have it, folks. Johnathan Ramcharan, stand-up comedian extraordinaire.